I'm Mahdi Shaheeb Sher. My website is www.mahdishaheebsher.com. I think one of my interests in the world as Mahdi Shaheeb Sher is Hollywood. I think Hollywood is very superficial and pretentious in the world. I think it's a negative influence in the world. I think most of what we see in Hollywood is kind of the pretentiousness you expect from Hollywood. It's kind of actors introducing their own views of the world, and unfortunately a lot of these actors are quite powerful as people because they're famous Hollywood actors, and I think it's very disagreeable to have famous Hollywood actors strolling about the world as they do. I think Hollywood, in terms of cinematography, cinema and film and entertainment, has the benefit of educating the world. It has the benefit of communicating positive messages. But I think when you look at the Hollywood actors that have shaped Hollywood, people like Tom Cruise, Russell Crowe, Brad Pitt as well. Who else is there? I think we do have the same Hollywood actors which we've had for over 30 years. I think it was during the 60s or maybe 70s with Saturday Night Fever or something with John Travolta. I think that's when they first kind of presented themselves as the future of Hollywood and Hollywood actors. But the interesting thing is that they're very old now. I think Tom Cruise is 65. I think Russell Crowe could be 55. But a lot of these actors, including Brad Pitt and Robert De Niro and Al Pacino, they are pensioners now, not so much young, vibrant Hollywood actors, but I think they're pensioners. But they seem to insist on retaining their pedestal within Hollywood, their position in Hollywood. And I think that's created things like violence and drugs and alcohol within the world. I think what we see with the influence of Hollywood is kind of drugs and violence. It's kind of a view of America in a very joyriding, hedonistic and kind of pleasure-orientated way in the world. I think America sometimes appears to have a negative influence in the world. But I think when it comes to Hollywood, the films that we have are very much geared towards how America is seen in the world, and often that has attributes of violence and alcohol and drug use. It has kind of a message of maybe the American dream or how America is in the world. And I think that could be maybe a damaging influence with a person's need for ego and self-gratification. I think it's driven not so much by ethics or maybe values or other things, but I think Hollywood, with its same actors, has focused on violence and drugs and alcohol, and I think that's probably the main concern with Hollywood, the drugs, the violence and the alcohol. So I think Hollywood does need to change now. I think we need fresh new Hollywood talent, acting talent, that can maybe keep up to times with the modern world and have a fresh perspective of all of the cultures involved in the world, not just the American fascination with alcohol, violence and drugs. So I think we do need to get rid of that alcohol, violence and drugs, maybe the old-aged actors as well, and kind of introduce fresh new talent that is up to date with the modern world and is perhaps able to offer some comfort and entertainment and kind of a positive outlook that doesn't involve violence, drugs and alcohol. So I think with people like Russell Crowe and Tom Cruise, they are very maybe corrupt, unethical people who have alcohol abuse issues. They could be Scientologists as well, but I think they think they're celebrities above the law. A lot of them have been involved in crime as well, including murder and shooting innocent people. I think a lot of them take advantage of their positions as famous individuals. But it's not so much the sincere makeup that Hollywood was known for, maybe with some of its directors and things. I think the magic of Hollywood has kind of disappeared from films like from E.T., Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, and maybe Rocky, and maybe some of the other things, maybe modern versions of those films as well. I think Hollywood does have a potential for a lot of creative magic that can kind of pick people up. But I think it's about having young actors that are more in tune with what the public want, in tune with public opinion, what they want, and it's creating a magic environment that I think can remove some of the very hostile, vindictive, criminal elements within Hollywood, maybe some of the dark elements within Hollywood, like Tom Cruise. I think with Tom Cruise, he's done very good Mission Impossible films, but Tom Cruise as a person doesn't quite have the good character or the good humour. He doesn't seem to come across as a genuine person, but more of an artificial actor who's kind of interested in show business and glamour, all of the glamour, glitz and show business. And I think that is maybe what brings Hollywood down. I think Hollywood is more about the original intentions that maybe Charlie Chaplin had when he created Hollywood in America. I think it was in California desert. I think his view was kind of his interest with maybe the 1930s Europe at the time, or Germany, and he kind of introduced quiet film with his distinctive walk and body movements, and I think that's kind of the character that Hollywood originates from. So I think that Hollywood can draw on its old roots of principles and character that people maybe appreciate, and I think that with a lot of the actors, including Julia Roberts as well, they're often not very nice people. I think as actors they could lead a better example, and I think a lot of these actors that have been in Hollywood for 30 years should ease off and I think remove some of the violence, the alcohol and the drugs that is associated with Hollywood now. I think if we could have actors, Hollywood actors from around the world, representative of the cultures from around the world, with all of its vibrant different natures of acting, not just perhaps action movies. I think most of Hollywood revolves around action films, but maybe other type of friendly films that incorporate some of the values that the world has now, aside from the hedonism we saw in the 80s and the 90s. And I think it would be very progressive if we can move away from that hedonism, from the drugs, the alcohol, and the violence, and if we move to more understanding and ethical, fresh Hollywood films that can create some kind of appeasement with people and some of the problems they're facing. So I think that would be a positive influence with Hollywood. And that's my view about Hollywood. Thank you.